BlackRock reveals it's quietly preparing for a 35 trillion Federal Reserve dollar crisis with Bitcoin and predicted to spark a sudden price boom. Guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's been a while since I made a video, but we were at the token 2049 presenting Event Horizon. I'm going to make also a separate video telling you guys about all the updates on Event Horizon because it's pretty crazy. But anyway, there is a lot of stuff to mention and to make an update in terms of the price action in Bitcoin and everything we're currently expecting. So please watch this video from the beginning and until the end and subscribe and hit that notification bell if you're brand new to the channel. I'm going to also discuss my trade on ETH that is starting to slowly, finally to look better than it was because it used to not look very good. So, and yeah, since the last video, we already made like extra 200K back. Anyway, we're going to discuss this as well. And also I'm going to discuss what I'm expecting from the price next and in light of all the news and the developments that happened since the previous video. So let's jump straight in. But first things first, BlackRock coming around and saying this here, I mean, it kind of paints a picture, right? And that's why right now when Fed actually cut the rates, 50 basis points, we saw Bitcoin pump. So yeah, that's what we've been discussing for so many times. And just to add insult to injury, China has cut interest rates by 50 basis points, so China is cutting. The US did the same thing, and it's time now for India to follow suit with a rate cut, and therefore the entire world is cutting rates, except for Japan. They've increased the rates by 25 basis points, and hopefully it's going to stay this way, and probably for the foreseeable future it will, because Americans and the Democrats will not let them do the opposite, just in my opinion. But just generally speaking, I'm kind of agreed with this guy here. If you're waiting for stock market to correct, well, in this case, okay, I guess we care more about Bitcoin and crypto. You won't get a chance to enter. And that's the whole point. So going forward, right now, what we were saying right now in terms of China, liquidity. Remember, China is huge and they're stimulating. And there are four major moves and avenues how they're doing it. So reserve requirement cut, interest rate cut, mortgage adjustment, and stock market stimulus. And so new policy allows institutional investors to use asset pledges to obtain liquidity that must be invested in the stock market, initially supporting up to 500 billion yuan. So if this is not huge in terms of liquidity and everything, all the tides in terms of liquidity, what we need for the crypto market is currently turning. And guys, before I go forward, remember that I'm personally trading over on Bybit, and I'm trusting Bybit with millions of dollars. This is just one account with 1.3 million. Using my link down in the description of this video, you can actually claim up to $30,000 in initial deposit bonuses, and all deposited users get access to my crypto signals community. There's also a link to it down in the description of this video, and we just post some trades in there. And most importantly, you can actually get up to 42% discount on trading fees if you follow my link to create an account with Bybit. And if you already have an account, well, you can create a new one using a different form of identification, such as, for example, a driver's license, and actually claim all these bonuses to your advantage so that when this actually pops, you'll actually have the best conditions to trade with and the best fees, etc. But only with my exclusive link down in the description of this video. Now, shield out of the way, let's move on to what is also quite important, and that is right here. Because again, just to finalize here, liquidity is coming from everywhere, guys, from literally every single fucking angle you can think about. Plus, in about 2 weeks from now, FTX will start distributing $16 billion to its creditors. So just 2 weeks left. And right, this is the perfect time for Bitcoin. This is just perfection. And again, 44 days before US elections, central banks are cutting rates, FTX repayments, and Bitcoin is preparing itself for something special. And that's something special, guys, right here. This is what we're standing at the forefront of right now. 2016, 2020, 2024. That's exactly where we are. So that's why I'm going to go back to the chart in just a second. I'm going to show you exactly where the move up is going to begin. My thesis hasn't changed. But what I want to mention here is right now the liquidity. That also supports everything I've just mentioned. At 68K, which we're like, what, a few thousand away from, basically, we have huge liquidity. So to the downside, look, not so much, down to 53K, not as much. 68K, billions of dollars worth of shorts will be liquidated. And we need to see a huge short squeeze. So, and just outside of this here, what I want to tell you guys, with all of this, I guess you already understand that there is no hope for Bitcoin to go down to 30K. It's just impossible. I don't know what has to happen for it to actually, I mean, there is always 0.1% probability for some black swan event. Yes, just to be absolutely clear. But generally speaking, if you're not exposed right now, That's not a good thing, quite frankly. Not financial advice, certainly. But what I want to also mention here is that right now we are seeing a slight drop in Bitcoin dominance. And if we actually look at the Bitcoin chart in terms of dominance, you will quickly understand that Bitcoin has been dominating for so long. That's why altcoins have been just absolutely crushed. See, this is the historic chart of Bitcoin dominance, and usually we were always rejected from this slope here, considering how many other assets there are in the market right now. There is fighting with Bitcoin for dominance, and right now we are at almost like record levels from back from 2020, etc. So this is something that, in my opinion, is signalizing that if there is a good time to start accumulating altcoins even more aggressively, the time is right now, just because of all the things that I've just mentioned. I think that overall, if we go back to the Bitcoin chart, my expectation is, as it just was previously, my expectation hasn't changed that very much. But what I expect to see, like the only thing that I wasn't quite so correct about, I thought we're gonna consolidate lower a bit more, but we actually pumped higher, and we currently are standing at like $65,000 resistance, which is a very important resistance. The next one is like 67, 68, 69, where there's a lot of liquidity here because it's upward slope. This is the upward resistance level for this entire range for the last almost 1 year. So that's why huge amounts of liquidity, and I think we're gonna actually maybe even push higher, dance around until this point here, which is the 15th of October. This is where usually we start these up moves, just historically liquidity. Well, now we have FTX and the same thing with elections, etc. So therefore, this zone here still could dance around. But until then, I think that a very good thing right now isn't just Bitcoin or, for example, Ethereum. That's why my trade on ETH is starting to perform a little bit better, even though I thought we were going to consolidate a bit longer. But I'm very happy to see it. I'm just hoping we're not going to just dump lower and then pump higher because of some black swan event. But for now, no bad stuff is on the horizon. So that's why I think that outside of our trade on Bybit for the ETH trade, what I'm thinking we can do is accumulate more spot positions and actually get in more into altcoins, just because the dominance of Bitcoin is pretty insane. So, and the altcoins I'd be looking at, I would be just basically adding the same ones I have. So Arbitrum, Apex, DGB, Woth, ENS, Solana, Starknet, TIA, Pepe. Probably we should add more Pepe. I have a lot more Pepe. That is just this is a separate account that I'm showing to you guys. 1inch, TVT, ZK, Just, Phil, Say, Meme, Dim, Bob, Uni, Mina, CRV, Jupiter, Blur, Venu, Beam, and the rest. OP is quite important. Grape has died, went to zero, whatever. So, and yeah, so these are the ones among of quite a few other ones that I would be betting on heavily in this bull run. And this is something that I think it makes sense to accumulate more of in the coming weeks, just before this parabolic move actually begins and the altcoin season finally begins. Because we've been, in terms of Bitcoin dominance, once again, going back to it, we have been far overdue an old cycle, because look for how long it's been since literally since 2023, the entire 1 year, 2023, and even the entire 2023 sucked as well, quite frankly. Well, there were some good pumps here and there, but mostly it was quite weak. So therefore, there has to be some kind of a season sooner or later. So I would be focusing not just on Bitcoin, considering everything I mentioned in this video, but also primarily on altcoins, making some really serious exits. So anyways, guys, I'm gonna go back to bed because I'm fucking sick with a fever and all this bullshit. So check out this quick tutorial popping up on your screen as to how to trade Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies with proper risk and money management. You're gonna learn quite a bit, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.